Hello, everyone. It's been a long time since I've done a face on camera video, but it's probably time to maybe try and start doing it again if I'm going to do this a little bit more regularly. Anyway, I've just got a couple of my latest Steelbook purchases, and this epitomizes the difference between what I like about Steelbook and what I don't like about Steelbook, and the effort that people can put in with the releases. So the first one is a film that I got a couple of weeks ago, which is the classic Full Metal Jacket. Now, it's not a film I would have expected to have bought on Steelbook, if I'm being brutally honest, but I did. And it was one of those purchases where I thought, I love the film, but it's not really going to have much of an improvement on 4K. Um, and it doesn't, but it's a good film to have to the collection. Now, this is what I want to really talk about in this video is it's just a generic bland, no groove, no like effort put in. I mean, that could have had like an indentation on there. There's the back, obviously the standard J card. You know, it's a standard release. And I'm finding that a lot of these Warner Brothers releases are all the same, where there's very little actually done with the actual steelbook in terms of the presentation. Um, and I know Disney get a lot of flack, obviously, but obviously what they're finally doing is releasing physical media, such as the back catalogue that they've got for 20th century. And I know that they get a lot of flack about some of the releases, obviously, the disc sizes and what they use and things like that. But this is one of my favorite films of the genre, of a Western genre. It's not really a classic Western, but the classic film Tombstone. Probably my favorite Val Kilmer performance of all time is Doc Holliday. But the reason why I bring this up is when you look at the actual steelbook, it it's a brilliantly presented steelbook. Um, but the tombstone's engraved. It's like a it's got a grooving on there. The sheriff badge on the back. Sorry, the deputy badge on the back. It's fabulous. It feels like a premium steelbook. There's a reason why you get a steelbook. It's because you get that premium offering of a film, and this, it, really delivers. And and I just like how it looks. It's a brilliant presentation, and I'm finding that Disney are doing this with their releases. Obviously, as they slowly start churning them out, and I do prefer these to the J cards. The J cards are literally just a very very flimsy piece of paper. Now, it's this card. I know it's not really that premium, but it looks better, and there's more of a chance of me keeping this on the shelf than the J card, if you know what I mean. And it just to sort off the review, obviously, I just thought that was a good point to make, obviously, about how well Disney present or have presented this Tombstone, going, instead of obviously, as I say, the blandness of say Full Metal Jacket. Um, Now going to obviously what did the actual films look like? Obviously, Full Metal Jacket was always a film I loved for the first 45 minutes. And I think I'm not alone when I say that. It's fabulous. The first 45 minutes. After that, it's still a great film, but it's more remembered for Arlie Emery's performance as Gunnery Sergeant Hartman. Um, you know, fantastic performance, obviously, in what was to become his defining role. Obviously, he was a drill instructor, obviously, in real life at some point. Now, it doesn't come in a Dolby Vision presentation, which again is disappointing. The picture's all right. You can tell it was made 1987. Now, there's no Atmos audio either. Again, it probably doesn't need it, but I this brings me to what I mentioned earlier, where it's not normally a purchase I probably would have got, and I'm trying to limit myself to purchase stuff now where it's different from the Blu-ray, and that usually is an Atmos soundtrack or a Dolby Vision, and it's got neither, and it's quite a disappointment for me. And I have to say, you watch the Blu-ray, obviously, which it comes with, and you probably wouldn't notice much of a difference, but it's a good film. It is very well a great film to obviously have in the collection. But going to Tombstone, which does have a very nice looking Dolby Vision presentation, it doesn't have Dolby Atmos, but it's a film that probably doesn't need it. You know, you're putting sound effects there for the sake of it for a film that was made in 1994. Um, but the presentation of the Dolby Vision for this is fabulous. It's definitely an upgrade on the Blu-ray. Obviously, the Blu-ray is quite old now. I believe it came out in 2011. Um, and I'm so pleased that one of my favorite films of the 90s has come out on 4K. I'm thoroughly looking forward to watching it in the future. You know, many times, as I say, it's not long ago that Val Kilmer passed away, unfortunately, and it's nice to actually have one of his best ever film roles on 4K, especially coming from Disney and it being from obviously the back catalogue. But those are my thoughts, just initial thoughts, obviously. But as I say, it's more about the presentation of that Steelbook. If you guys have bought them, let me know what you think, and thanks very much for watching. If you do enjoy the video, give it a like. I'd very much appreciate it. Any comments are welcome, and if you do like any of this content and want to stick around, do click on that subscription icon. But thanks very much, and I'll see you in the next one.